So we're here at InCabin in Brussels. It's our third InCabin event in less than a year, but lots of exciting technology to talk about. Haley, we've both been chairing today. I'm interested to hear what have you heard and what have you learned?
Yeah, lots to cover today. So yeah, started off with the plenary, a lot of talk about the human factors and HMI, which have been hot topics. Nice academic presentation from Natasha at the University of Leeds, looking at where the light or the auditory stuff is better for getting that driver to look back. But the main thing is, you know, when you hear a warning sign, you look where that warning sign comes from. You're not looking at where the danger is. And there doesn't really seem to be a solution to that. That's just what everyone's agreeing that, yeah, that happens, but where do we go from there? So I think there's still lots of questions to answer.
There are lots of questions, that's true. I think one thing I've noticed has been, even in the space of a year we've been running the event, we've seen a lot more DMS solutions come onto the market. So from our first event in Brussels last year to now, they're all represented on the exhibit floor. There's a lot of solutions out there, and some of those are starting to mature. But yeah, lots of questions about the use cases, I think. So we have 2D cameras are kind of the established solution, but we heard in the last session, I was just moderating on 3D sensing, so using radar, using other 3D imaging techniques to add layers of intelligence for some of those more advanced use cases. Yeah, so it's interesting, lots of new things and lots of new people as well. You know, the other thing I think is our community here in InCabin is very differentiated from the AutoSens community from which it started, and you know, met lots of new faces as well.
Yeah, and especially when you look at the use cases that go further away from safety, like safety is a given, and then you're looking at like convenience and comfort. And I was in a session earlier where they're talking about bringing, you know, gaming into the car, using the sensors that exist already for the safety aspects, but how can they monetize that, take that forward, differentiate themselves with VR, AR, and all sorts. There's already been some like OEM collaborations that have been announced, so that will be interesting and surely bring some new faces, you know, in the future as well, where we're looking at more of the comfort and convenience side of things, not just the DMS and that safety, which is obviously paramount, but that's how they're going to differentiate themselves, and the OEMs in the future. And those use cases, I mean, the world is the OEM's oyster basically when it comes to that.
Absolutely. And then that brings us on the OEM side back to HMI as well. So we kicked off the day with some really interesting presentations and insights into the human factors. So how do people respond, and how does the vehicle communicate with them? You know, there's a lot of science out there in human factors, but applying it to these applications, I think, is where the exciting work is going on. And then we had a really great presentation from our lead sponsor, DTS Xperi. Adi, we've heard from him at the previous events. DTS really kind of setting an example and out there as thought leaders in this space. It really gets the cogs going in your brain listening to what they've got to say. And we've got a reception hosted by them right now going on in the background, and some exciting things going on this evening. So that probably means we need to wrap up and get ready to head there.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right. So that's us from InCabin here in Brussels. It's been a great event so far.